Good evening, welcome to the Modus Super Series where the action is about to get underway. Apologies for the slightly delayed start, just a little technical issue ahead of the opening of tonight's 10 matches, but myself, Chris Murphy and Scott Mitchell are on hand to guide you through all of them, and you have not missed and will not miss a dart this evening. Trying not to miss their targets. Aidan Kirk, debut at the Super Series, takes on Andy Davidson, who's had a fantastic debut week. Also in this group, Ashley Coleman, the Prince of Darkness, the Queen of Darts, Trina Gulliver, 10-time world champion,
Game on.
and the reigning Super Series champion, Scott Taylor. But it is this man, Aidan Kirk, getting the action underway. And Scott, based on the form that he's shown on the Challenge Tour of late, he could be a real contender to win this group.
Yeah, and the form kind of started at the end of last year for me, and I think that you know, quite rightly so, he's had a really good start to the Challenge Tour year, and
57.
with the Challenge Tours coming sort of thick and fast at the start of the year, if you're in a good shape right at the very start, you can stay there, you know, at the top of that area, the way that it all works, and to be there gets you invites into the Pro Tours, and I gather he had an invite in and turned it down on this occasion, but replaced some of the Pro Tour guys who maybe don't attend. Goes down the list to the fine players to attend, so that the Pro Tour doesn't play short of the 128 is the idea.
60.
A clever idea it is too.
41.
Well, Davidson has really made a name for himself this week. A relatively unknown
33.
qualifier for the amateur dart circuit. He's been fast, he's been furious, he's been fabulous. Switching down for the 16s after blocking the treble 20, but not getting near it, Aidan Kirk.
46. Andy, you require 8. No score. Aidan, you require 58.
I suppose one of the problems for throwing at that kind of speed is that it's very difficult to make adjustments. You just end up throwing all three darts in the same hole
23.
effectively. He's off the hook
Andy,
though.
You require 8.
I feel he needs to make it count here on this visit.
No score. Aidan, you require 35.
Looks like early group nerves for Davidson.
On the first leg, Aidan Kirk.
Yeah, he knows that was a leg that got away. 8 missed darts at double from Davidson in the opening leg.
Andy to throw first.
You don't get better chances than that to break at this level.
80.
Well, Aidan Kirk, he rose to darting fame 10 years ago now at the UK Open, when he actually beat Conan Whitehead, who of course has made his own history here at the Super Series.
90.
He then beat Gerwyn Price, who wasn't the Gerwyn Price that we know now, before playing the 16-time world champion Phil Taylor in the third round. Beat him, then played Peter Wright, who was at the time the runner-up at the World Championship at the beginning of that season. Beat him as well. Eventually losing out to Brendan
55.
Dolan in the 5th round of the tournament. That was 10 years ago now. Kind of disappeared into darting obscurity for quite a while, but we've seen him bounce back, and it's good to see him here at the Super Series.
Yeah, funny the name Brendan Dolan props up after the weekend. He's always there and thereabouts, isn't he, the wily old character?
Options here for Andy.
43. Aidan, you require 41.
Kirk to level. So sorry, to double his lead.
It's 27 he's after. It's gone for 11 for double 8.
25.
Always difficult to hit that, because you know mentally you should be having 2 darts and not 1. So it's 2 darts for Davidson.
32.
Becoming a problem, isn't it? That's now 10 darts missed already.
Game shot on a second
And Aidan Kirk is
Aidan
punishing him. 2 out of 5 for him. Andy Davidson has had twice as many darts at double as Aidan Kirk in the first 2 legs, but finds himself on the receiving end of both of them.
Yeah, and in between your ears, you're sat there looking at that 2-0 scoreline going, how am I here?
96.
When you make those mistakes, when you're up there, it doesn't feel like 10 darts. He'll come off, think you might have had 3 at one and 3 at the other.
70.
But in fact, it's 10. And as a player, you just sit there and go, how have I ended up here?
59.
Oh, showing no signs of rustiness, Aidan Kirk. Not like the bicycle in the children's book that he wrote.
56.
For those who are wondering what he has been doing for the last 10 years, Aidan Kirk's actually a published children's author. Wrote a book called Rusty the Old Bicycle.
108.
Nothing rusty about the arrows. If you want to know more, Rusty is a lonely old bike that's been left behind 92. By his previous owners and dreams of racing again like he used to.
$82.
Everybody's got a rusty old bike, haven't they?
125.
Well, ironically, this might end up being the leg that Andy Davidson wins, but he'll have to rely on Kirk missing. Missing 2. Wrong bed. Double 3.
78.
Went straight for it.
Andy
with Davidson on 158. He could have opted not to.
Yeah, not to be this time for Davidson.
66.
Some would say the wheels are falling off the bike.
No score. Andy, you require 92.
But I do like that. I like him going half of the double 3. You have to, but this is opportunity knocking again.
76.
For Davidson, and once more.
You require 6.
He's getting closer.
Well, he can't get much closer. Turns out he can. 3-0 to Aidan Kirk. And Andy Davidson's double trouble continues in this opening match of Group B.
4 flag. It's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Won this game 3 times.
95.
Tell you what, they're making up for the slightly delayed start, aren't they?
Indeed. I think the pace of the game is 81. Suiting both players.
Well, just to note that Davidson was 8-1 in the betting to win this group. Aidan Kirk was 4-1. If you are going to have a flutter, please 58. Do so responsibly. BeGambleAware.org for all the information on safe gambling. And it is, of course, 18 plus. The 97. Odds-on favourite, 8-15. In fact, Scott Taylor, the reigning Super Series champion.
180.
Number 2 already for Aidan Kirk.
180.
Number 2 for Davidson, and 4 180s in the
100. Game. Andy requires 79.
Well, it's been blink and you'll miss it stuff this match, but when it comes to a double, it's just been miss it
59.
For Andy Davidson, and that continues. Now an unlucky 13 missed darts at the outer ring. And double 16 will get the job done for Kirk.
66.
More opportunities for Davidson.
20. Game shot on a 4 flag. Andy Davidson.
He spreads the wings, ironically. But that could be significant, Scott, couldn't it? Because Andy lost this match 4-0, missing bucket loads of darts at doubles. That could have easily carried into the next game.
Yeah, it does. And like you say, you want to get over it and get past it. You know,
100.
He's still only 1 from 15, but the 1 was his last dart. So, being silly dart players that we are, we just remember that 1 last dart. The other 14 before that seem to have gone by the by.
100.
Like you say, a riveting place that's suiting both players. And
125.
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott Taylor's quick. Ashley Coleman's quick. Trina Gulliver's going to have to get her skates on tonight.
140.
Oh, you won't rush Trina. Not her first 100. Rodeo. You won't see her galloping from one side to the other.
65.
Davidson came third in Group A, which was won by your mate, Tommy Morris. Comfortably in the end, 6 points clear of Ashley Coleman.
Aidan, you require 96.
So the 96 well and truly pressured here by Davidson.
56. And you require 32. Game shot on a fifth leg.
Nailed it, and all that's
Davidson.
gone before is forgotten. He's been a lot closer to doubles than that with his first 2 darts and not converted. Misses those 2
Sixth
by a
leg.
country
It's
mile
Andy
and
to throw
slots with the
first.
last.
Game on.
He has the darts now to take this down the road to 3-3, but he's got to find his scoring
85.
boots. If that's going to happen, because you feel that Aidan Kirk here knows his stuff, and look at his posture and the way that he throws. It's
100.
very majestic. It looks like there's nothing that can go wrong with it.
97.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a man that's fearing a comeback, just getting on with his job.
134. 137. 59.
Now, Davidson's doing what he needs to do, but it's imperative he hits a treble here.
94.
Oh, it's last dart as well, just when Kirk's thinking, I've got a chance here.
59. And you require 88. 56.
Can't quite complete the combo.
Aidan, you require 149.
Kirk gets a chance to win it in style, and it's on. Treble 19. Just
133.
beyond him. And Davidson
require 32.
can level this match.
No score. Aidan, you require 16.
I think he thought the second one was in, but it's Kirk comes back. Double
shot
eight it
and the
is,
match,
and he
Aidan
wins our
Kirk.
opening match of the night. It's a 4-2 win in the favour of Aidan Kirk against Ali Davidson. That's the tell of the tape. A very even game in averages, but it's that double count. 4 from 17 from Kirk and 2 from 22 from Davidson, and he was there first on 3 other occasions, so he'll feel that that's one that maybe has got away. We're going to head into a short break, and when we return, we will have Scott Taylor taking on Ashley Coleman.
Game shot and the match, and the Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor.
Well, welcome back, and there is the man in question, Scott Taylor. He takes on Ashley Coleman in the second match of this evening, and what a lovely little promo that was. Our team put together there for our Series 6 champion, Scott Taylor. Coming back to try and defend his title, but first things first, he's got to make Saturday night, and then he's got to win it. But the 32-year-old from Bolton is not daunted by the prospect, and he takes on Ash Coleman, the 27-year-old from Suffolk, and he's a bit of an internet sensation, is Ash Coleman, and you know, I've liked and seen what he does, and it's an unorthodox throw where it sort of comes back to his face and then just slides out a little bit. Very effective for him, and again, a rapid thrower. We really do have some speed merchants tonight. Scott Taylor getting us underway with a treble 20.
Yeah, both very, very quick players, just like the two we've just seen, Kirk and Davidson. That match finished 4-2 in favour of Aidan Kirk. This match starts with Ash Coleman saying to the reigning champ, this is what you're up against. A 177, not a 180, but 96. Every bit as good as. It is Scott Taylor's second bite of the cherry. He played in week 4, won Group A that week, lost in the final to Neil Duff. Some players are given a second opportunity, should I say. You can play a full week, so starting in Group A and then play in a secondary group as well, a B or a C, which is what Taylor's doing tonight. Well, Coleman's had 6 perfect darts, a 177 and a 180 in this leg. He might not even win this leg.
145.
And unfortunately for him, he had an 85 in between those 6 perfect darts, but he's still there to be having a look, knocking on the door. And he does more than knock on the door. He boots the door in. It's first leg against the throw to Ashley Coleman.
Yeah, really strong start from Coleman, who's certainly finding his place here at the Super Series. Brought, as you alluded to, an army of fans who watch him online with him. But with that, there was a worry that maybe he wouldn't be quite up to the same standard as the likes of Scott Taylor. Well, the start of this match tells you otherwise.
It does, but these 11 and 12 dart legs, you've got to keep repeating them against the likes of Scott Taylor.
$135.
He's been here quite a lot recently. Another player that's getting a second go. The other way round to Scott Taylor. Played a 2-day group earlier in the series. Back for a full week this time. Looking to make his first finals night. Although he has experienced a packed crowd because he was part of our fun influencer event that took place on a Sunday afternoon in front of a full house.
140.
Yeah, it was a full house indeed as well. And
167.
once again, good money raised for charity. That was the idea of the whole exploratory plan, and
97.
Put the live lounge to good use as well.
Well, he certainly lit it up, and he's hoping to double his advantage against Taylor here, who must take out 70 to stop Coleman getting that chance.
Game shot on a second leg.
Nicely
Scott
done.
Taylor.
Interesting route on 70, the treble 14 for the double 14.
Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
So break back as well, that from Scott Taylor. So he immediately
100.
wrestles back control of the contest.
57. 140.
Well, we're only early and 2 legs in, but these averages
58.
are pretty good here. Taylor on a 110. And that's just dropped to a 96 from Coleman. And Taylor just rides it to a 116, no problem.
Well, this is some response to losing that opening leg. Went out in 15 to break back and level here. Looking to go out in 12. Treble 18 for double 12.
Game shot on a third leg.
Very,
Scott
very well
Taylor.
cleaned up after that errant first start from Scott Taylor, who is strutting his stuff on the stage where he became the champion in the previous series.
No panic for Coleman yet, but he really needs to find a treble first visit to let Taylor know he's not gone away, and he hasn't achieved that.
59. 96. 135.
Trina Gulliver against Aidan Kirk, the third match of the night. Kirk, of course, already played, already
99.
won. Gulliver hasn't thrown a dart yet tonight.
This is a strange one for me to watch. I don't know how these guys get their eyes to focus that quickly on their target when they're moving around, when they're this rapid.
95.
It really is rat-tat-tat darts at its best. And
yeah, I don't think it will be a long night tonight.
119. 60. Ashley require 128. 80. Scott, you require 152.
Well, Coleman hasn't rolled over. An example being that bullseye attempt at the end of the 128. And he'll come back for 48.
93.
A nice finish.
Ashley, you require 48. 32.
maybe thought
Scott,
a little
you
there with
require
those two darts in his
59.
hand. He had a glance across to see what Taylor had, and he saw Taylor was sat there on 59, and whether that pressured that 48.
Game shot on a fourth flag. Scott
So
Taylor.
good at that, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he was bitterly disappointed not to have made it through in his first attempt. So
Fifth
Taylor
flag. It's Scott
looking to
throw
take full
first.
advantage of this second
Game
opportunity.
on.
I think if he goes into Champions Week, he's got to be amongst the favourites, if not the favourite. But it is a very good Champions Week that's
60.
been built here at the Super Series. In Series 7, already confirmed,
177.
none less than Bo Greaves, who, of course, won on her debut. Andreas Harrison, Connor Heenan, Bradley Brooks, Kieran T and Darius Labanauskas,
100.
Jimmy Van Ski, who can forget his winning night, Neil Duff, the man who beat Taylor in his weekly final previously, Reese Robinson, and Bradley Roos, just 2
100.
spots up for grabs. For those that do wonder, the
100.
group positionings for Champions Week are done on the averages for that winning player of each week. So can already confirm that
140.
Bo Greaves, Andreas Harrison, Connor Heenan and Bradley Brooks will definitely be in Group A. And Bo Greaves had an average, a winning average
122. Ashley require
for the
84.
full week of 93.04.
59. Scott, you require 119.
Mind you, this has been even better than that. Double 13 to complete the job.
108. 106. Ashley require 25.
He was unable to do the Brian Ramon there, who we've seen going,
shot on a fifth flag,
switching to a
Ashley
double
Coleman.
13 on a few occasions this week. Coleman breaks back.
Sixth leg. It's Ashley to throw first. Game on.
full credit to Coleman,
140.
who is just shuffling along at a good pace.
140.
Almost poked the bear, didn't he, by winning that first leg. Since then, Scott Taylor's just elevated
43.
to extraordinary levels.
Yeah, and he's kind of got into the game, and he's still there at 3-2, Ashley Coleman. But like you say, it's been
99.
improbable that he would get legs, but he's played well. He's scoring at the right time, and these are big moments in the week for him already, early doors, because if he plays really well against Scott, he will fancy his chances against the others, and it's 3 from 5 here in Group B, so it's not all over for him. He's just got to keep his game somewhere in a tidy nick.
Taylor's second game will be against
43.
Andy Davidson, so strap yourselves in for that one. The Bolton boy doing his hometown proud on the Super Series stage down here in Portsmouth. And that's a lovely leave, and a lovely way to leave it.
77. Scott, you require 36.
So for a win for the champ, who's played like a champ in his opening match of the night. A 4-2 success against Ashley Coleman, but a performance that was as polished as the trophy he lifted at the end of the previous series. Really good stuff. 102.34 the average, 4 out of 9 on the doubles. A lovely 81 in there for a dozen dart leg for Taylor, who after losing the opening leg to Ashley Coleman just ran riot from that point. He'll be back in a couple of games' time. We'll be back after a short break when trainer Gulliver takes on Aidan Kirk.
to the right side. This is a Stephen Bunting area of the board.
Fantastic dart from Fallon Sherrick. Fantastic finish from Fallon Sherrick.
Generational talent, playing at the peak of her powers.
16. This is looking good, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Women's Week is coming soon. At the end of this series, in fact, when we crown a new champion the following week, it will be the ladies' turn to have their own Super Series tournament. And I can now exclusively reveal that the 10-time world champion, the Golden Girl, Trina Gulliver, will be competing that week. She will be joining Bo Greaves and Fallon Sherrick and another 9 women who will be revealed on Saturday night show. So don't forget to be watching on Saturday if you want to see that full lineup. We're on air from 7:30 live on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. And trying to get there is Trina Gulliver MBE, 10-time world champion. Remarkable haul of trophies, taking on Aidan Kirk, the captain who had that brilliant UK Open run, which we referenced in his first match when he beat the 16-time world champion, Phil the Power Taylor. In the commentary box tonight, a 1-time world champion. Sounds rubbish, that, doesn't it, compared to what I've just read out? But Scott Mitchell is alongside me, a 0-time world champion.
Absolutely, thanks for that. And
first leg, it's Trina to throw first.
Best managed farm under 300 acres in 2023 at the South Avon and Stour Agricultural Society, so that's a big one for me as well.
Which one meant the most?
Probably the best run farm, actually.
Well, it would mean a lot for Trina Gulliver to get a victory in what is a very difficult group.
93.
I'm sure she'll be a little more comfortable on the Women's Week, but full credit to her for playing in the open category as well and backing herself against not just 45. The likes of Aidan Kirk, who's been successful of late on the Challenge Tour, but the reigning champion Scott Taylor, who was imperious in his 4-2 win over Ashley Coleman.
97.
The same scoreline that Kirk achieved against Davidson in the opening match tonight.
Yeah, and back in the day, Trina was the forefront of women's darts, trying to get
40.
A standalone world championship for the women. Campaigned and finally achieved
44.
it. Trailblazer, if you like, and 10 world championships is just the wow factor, isn't it?
85. $140.
Kirk leaving 127. Gulliver will need a second treble to join him on any kind of finish, which she gets.
Aidan, you require 127.
Misses the big number, allowing Gulliver a go at the 161.
Trina, you require 161. $45. Aidan, you require 16. Game shot on the first leg, Aidan Kirk.
First leg safely in the ledger for Aidan Kirk. Breaker throw as well.
It's Aidan to throw first. Game on.
A lot of love for Scott Taylor in the YouTube chat tonight. Many saying 95. That he's going to walk this group. From what you've seen so far, we've seen every player now, although only one leg of Trina Gulliver, but do you think that will be the case?
Well, I'm not really sure. It doesn't matter what I think. It looks like the fan base think it. I think the bookmakers think it from the odds that he was at 8-15 at the start, and I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to work
57.
Out that he is right on the top of his game. You know, he wants to get to that Saturday night final. We know that this is kind of the floor show for making the Saturday night final,
60.
and then the Saturday night final feels like a more of a knockout, even though there's a little group stage at the start. Everybody's a bit tense, nervous, headache, and Taylor's been there, done it, and bought the T-shirt. So does that add pressure to what he's trying to achieve, as you know, being his last chance to make that
135
finals night? with the extended prize money and
190.
£25,000 for the series winner. It really is a prize fund not to be sniffed at.
100. Aidan, you require 133.
Well, Gulliver's left herself in a good position here to break straight back. 66 after
59.
a dozen darts.
Trina, you require
Good
66.
standard in anybody's book. And that's a lovely finish from Trina Gulliver to level up this match and effectively get control of it.
Third leg, it's Trina to throw first.
Interesting question in the chat about that Women's Week. We've had Bo Greaves, of course, play here and win here. Fallon Sherrick's played here many times. Trina Gulliver has been here a few times herself.
100.
Do you think that the players that have had a run out on the stage already will have a little bit of an advantage in that Women's Week?
Possibly, but I think there's something about coming here a bit raw and a bit naive and not expecting too much of yourself. And it depends how each individual lady sees that. You know, it's
95.
It's one of those. It's the mentality of each individual person. I think, you know, maybe some of the younger girls that
43.
could be here, we don't know, because obviously we've only revealed the 3, but you know, it's exciting times for ladies darts. That's the more important thing, to
60.
get themselves a week here. It's just a super idea, and a credit to them as ladies of how they're playing in world darts at this particular moment in time, and
93.
they very well deserve it.
Yeah, we've had some big moments on the stage as well. The 9-dart finish from Fallon Sherrick, the weekly win from Bo Greaves recently.
100.
Yeah, absolutely. More than contributed to what we now see as a normal series event, you know, and the girls being involved.
57. Trina, you require
yeah, fair play.
146.
They're definitely bringing something to the table. And
Well, Trina Gulliver here is threatening
40.
to do what the 16-time world champion Phil Taylor couldn't do, and that's beat Aidan Kirk.
$97. Trina, you require 106.
good pick up there from Kirk to leave him on a shot. Gulliver now treble 17 for the ball. She's missed the big number. A 98 left. Back up the top.
28. Aidan, you require 167.
Gulliver's made a little bit of a mess after a strong start to this leg. She was on 146 6 starts ago. Only on 78. But now double 12. Double 6.
Game shot on a third leg.
Gulliver leads.
Trina Gulliver.
Emma in the chat
Fourth
room
leg.
asking
It's
if
Aidan
we've
to throw first.
revealed
Game
any
on.
of the other players. We've been through this, Emma, already, but I'll go through it again. Saturday night, all
99.
of the ladies in that week will be revealed, so tune in and watch us and enjoy finals night when an 11th player will make it through to Champions Week.
95. $99.
Of course, finals night will feature Tommy Morris. He's already there. Devon Peterson looks in good shape in Group C.
60.
And we've had some really good nights recently on Saturdays at the Super Series.
44.
Yeah, Devon Peterson in the morning. I think I'm going to find out what his chefing skills are like. He said he's going to get up and cook us a breakfast.
Send me the postcode, I'll be there.
125.
Oh, I seem to have lost it. I think it's fell under the table, the postcode. I'm sorry, Murph.
59.
I've got a ticket, you're not coming in.
Well, is Kirk going to come into this match a little bit more?
161.
No guarantee that he'll take out the 100, so Gulliver would be well advised to leave herself below that. To do that, she's going to need a treble.
41. Aiden, you require 100. $60. Trina, you require 120.
Couldn't go after dart 1.
26. Aiden, you require 40.
Could have put Kirk under more pressure there, Gulliver, but
Game shot on a 4 flag. Aiden Kirk.
wasn't to be, and Kirk brings it back to 2-2.
5th flag. It's Trina to throw first. Game on.
The Gulliver game is still there, evidently, but it's just these visits seem to come in every
30.
leg. So when that happens, your opponent is going to get opportunities. She can still hit the tons and the 140s. And she can take out the finishes as well. We've seen that 2 out of 3, including 2 combination
134.
shots. But it's just that scrappy visit, or 2 scrappy visits in each leg,
60.
that let her down.
Yeah, indeed, and another non-treble visit there on your own throw is
57.
exactly what you're looking for, but here she comes back.
100. 100.
There we see it now. Every time she's done that, she's over-adjusted and gone the other side. I'm good, aren't I?
7.
Done it again.
Yeah, I think you took that one in. That's my mate you were talking about.
100.
But that's going to happen, can't it? When the first dart's in a good position, it's easy to work off. But when you're searching for something,
40.
you start pushing
Aiden,
and
you require
pulling, and
110.
nothing really goes right.
Yeah. Harder you try, the worse it gets with this game. The more you relax
50. Check 70.
and throw with freedom. That's the idea with this game. Don't think, oh, the game gets you.
60. Aiden, you require 40.
And Kirk may be about to get ahead. 2 10s. Now, doesn't have to go for this,
Game
but he
shot on the
backed
5th
himself.
flag. Aiden Kirk.
And he was right to do so. Confident sign there. Because there was some precariousness. Had he gone inside, left
6th
himself
flag.
5,
It's
maybe
Aiden
the
to throw
door
first.
opens for Gulliver when she
Game
wasn't
on.
on a finish. But straight in the double, no nonsense from Aiden Kirk.
140.
I think early doors in this game, I think Aiden Kirk gave Trina a lot of respect, actually. You know, you're apprehensive, probably never played her before.
95. 95. 60.
80 plus these for Kirk.
99.
And a leg he's seeking to hold. And Gulliver way back, and a 180 won't help her even leave a finish.
100. Aiden, you require 167. 97.
Closing in now, Kirk. One last golden moment for Gulliver in the game.
135. Aiden, you require 70.
Well, at least puts her in the picture.
Game shot.
But not
and
for
the
long.
match, Aiden Kirk.
As Aiden Kirk defeats Trina Gulliver by that same 4-2 scoreline we've seen in each of the matches so far tonight. An average of 82.25. He follows up the win against Andy Davidson earlier this evening, and Davidson is back in action after the break when he faces Scott Taylor. Welcome back to the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, the home of the Modus Super Series, where Group B is 3 games deep, and Scott Taylor, the Series 6 Super Series Grand Final winner, produced a champion's performance in his first match, a 4-2 win against Ashley Coleman, an average of 102.34. Before that, Andy Davidson had gone down 4-2 to Aidan Kirk, who has since beaten the legendary Trina Gulliver by that same 2-leg margin. Davidson, who's played in the UK Open on 4 occasions, an ADC qualifier, the man from Edinburgh, takes on Bolton's Taylor, who has won on the PDC Challenge Tour, but more recently, and some would say more importantly, has won on the Modus Super Series stage on the big night.
100.
Andy Davidson would have been out the back watching Scott Taylor doing 102.34 in his first match against Ashley
45.
Coleman. And he'll know he will need a lot better than 2 from 22,
60.
which was his Achilles heel in his first match against Aidan Kirk.
96.
And the more I watch this is some group, this Group B this evening and tomorrow.
140.
Taylor just looks so confident when he goes to the board. It's a lovely feeling when you know where those darts are going. Honestly, it's hard to explain, but you have moments in your darting life where you feel like you could throw them over your shoulder and face the wrong way and they're all still going.
95.
Taylor is
Andy, you
in
require
that
160.
type of form at this particular moment in his career.
Oh, it doesn't matter what he does.
Andy Davidson.
If Andy Davidson does things like that, respect from the champion, and that is a far cry from the way he started the previous match. 160 checkout in the first leg, having missed 8 darts at double in the first leg of the last game.
140.
Yeah, and our first ton topper of the evening goes to Davidson.
140. 137. 99.
Isn't this a strange game? All those darts and a double in his last game for Davidson, and up steps to 160. Oh, just pop that out. That's no problem. What double problem?
Wants to be careful though, because we saw what Scott Taylor did to Ashley Coleman after losing the first leg in his previous match.
99.
Yeah. 2 for tops.
Game shot on a second leg. Scott Taylor.
99, an awkward number to leave. Are you talking? Are you telling me the truth here?
Third leg. It's Andy.
Just looks at home. He's treating this like his castle, isn't he, Scott Taylor? One of the Super Series greats, you'd have to say it, the way he's performing. A winner. Certainly the best Scott we've ever had on that stage.
60.
Tumbleweed's just blown through there somewhere. I didn't quite catch what you said then.
140.
Have we had any other Scots that are world champions up there on that stage?
I think there's only one, isn't there?
100.
Absolutely.
No, I know another world champion Scot. Gary Anderson.
140.
Oh yeah, I like what you did there. Still, has he been up there on that stage?
Well,
That's the question.
This is Robert Thornton then. John Henderson.
Yeah. Now you're clutching at straws, I believe. And I'm Scott with the 2 T's.
Well, this is Scott against the Scot, and this Scott is doing remarkable things. He's seen Scott Taylor's level, and he's raised it to quite electrifying, frightening heights. Look at that. Scott Taylor averaging 107, and he's 10 points worse off than his opponent.
108.
Or was, I should say.
45.
Sensational averages here in the live lounge at the Super Series.
100.
Scott by nationality taking on Scott by name.
And both
140.
doing big things. Not a dart missed at double, barely a dart missed at treble in this game.
140.
Absolutely ridiculous game, this.
83. Scott, you require 81.
Really, really strong stuff.
Game shot on a fabulous flag. Scott
fabulous
Taylor.
from Scott Taylor, who does have a preference for that double 14 and worked his way to it for another 12 dart leg.
Andy to throw first.
Both players averaging pretty much dead on 112 after 4 legs.
134. 58.
Those 4 legs, by the way, were played in 5 minutes and 2 seconds.
It's Did you say 4 legs
60.
or 1 leg? Oh no, that's when I'm playing. It's just the 1 leg. I'm still on my 6 practice darts here by then. It's great to watch, though. Great to watch.
97.
Both really in a flow. Both really comfortable at this pace.
Yeah, pace suits pace sometimes, doesn't it? And
99.
that seems to be what's happened to Andy Davidson in particular this week. He was pretty much unknown. Not even a household name in his own household before he set off from Edinburgh.
140.
Andy Davidson, but he certainly made a name for himself this week.
90.
He's in the bracket of one of those that's been given an opportunity, and he is trying his best to grab it with both hands.
100. Andy, you require 118.
Well, that's a little slip. So it allows the opportunity
78.
for Scott Taylor
Scott, you
to
require
get
106.
the big break he needs. Still on. Not now.
50. Andy, you require 40.
Well, that was a first start,
Shot on a
missed
fifth
at a
leg,
double, but
Andy
it didn't matter.
Davidson.
Yeah, double stats are pretty impressive.
Sixth
3 from
leg,
4.
It's Scott to throw first.
So Davidson
Game on.
and 2 from 2 from Taylor. That's how to keep your average up in the hundreds, folks.
100.
Don't be scoring having those no scores with darts on the outside of doubles. Just go and hit them.
180.
Well, that 160 kicked off this match, and it kind of set the standard for it. But is it going to be
100.
a big win? Potentially the biggest win of the week for Andy Davidson.
Going back to the 180s there, they've only hit one 180 each.
135.
So it shows that you don't be having to hit 3 or 4 180s to get 110 averages. You've got to be hitting that outer ring and
99.
keeping those darts out there to a minimum.
140.
Really enjoyable game, and Davidson now is within touching distance of getting the Taylor scalp.
85. Andy, you require 46. Game shot and the
Wow.
match. Andy Davidson.
What a performance from both players, but in particular what a performance and what a win for Andy Davidson. The ADC qualifier on his debut week at the Super Series has just taken down the reigning champion, and he's done it despite a 104.54 average from Scott Taylor, who didn't miss a dart at double in that game. Davidson himself only missed one, started the match with a 160 finish and averaged a staggering 110.21. 6 legs completed in a little over 8 minutes. An absolute treat of a darts game, and there'll be plenty more like that tonight. Coming next, Ashley Coleman back in action against Trina Gulliver.
So welcome back, and if you've just joined us, what a darting treat you have just missed between Andy Davidson and Scott Taylor. It was a 110.21 average for Andy Davidson and a 160 along the way, which helped him turn over Scott Taylor, Series 6 champion, 4-2. And Taylor himself had a 104.52. Didn't do a foot wrong, put a foot wrong really, but was unfortunate to come out on the wrong end. But we have Ashley Coleman now taking on Trina Gulliver, and it's a little bit follow this one, guys. Ashley Coleman, he lost to Scott Taylor in his earlier match, 4-2, and
game on.
And Gulliver was on in game 3, and she was turned over by Aidan Kirk, 4-2. So neither yet to win a game this evening, although it's only their second game, so there's no panic yet. But one of them is going to win this one and put their first points on the league table.
Yep, Aidan Kirk, the only player unbeaten so far. He's going to take on Scott Taylor in the next game.
99.
So you're absolutely right. It's got no need to panic even with defeat in this match, because the likelihood is that even then they're still going to be in a situation that can be rescued. The previous match, though, was just something special. Get 91. To witness them now and again at the Super Series. And Scott Taylor did nothing wrong, 104 average in that defeat.
60.
Yeah, and he averaged 102 in his first game against Ashley Coleman. And he still has only 6 legs of the 12 that he's played this evening to show for it, running 103 average between the 2 games. Remarkable. And that's why he was our Series 6 champion. And we said this is some
60.
group.
Ashley
Last game
111.
Did come to show it. Here comes Coleman.
95.
Nice moment for the likes of Ashley Coleman and Andy Davidson, who are just sort of making their name in the game, to be sharing the stage with Trina Gulliver.
Ashley requires 16.
Such a great of this sport.
Shot on first leg.
But that's
Ashley
a great
Coleman.
start to this match for Ashley Coleman, who wins in 16 darts.
Second leg. It's Trina to throw first. Game on.
Trina won't hit the panic button. She'll know that it's her darts this time round, and
100.
Much better start from her. Coleman's one of those players that doesn't seem to take
41.
a great deal of notice of what his opponent is doing. He's not one of those that follows his opponent's score. You see a lot of players that just do enough. They're not too worried about averages. They're just worried about getting over the winning
100.
line.
134.
We'll be at the halfway stage of the night after this match, and only one player will be without points, whoever loses this game.
36. 60. 87. 140.
Still every opportunity to win this leg for Trina Gulliver, despite that 2-treble turn from her opponent. But has to eliminate these stray darts that are plaguing her tonight.
Ashley require
The standard of this group, there is no room for error.
101. Trini require 138.
And unless she does something special, Coleman will return for the remainder. After missing the bull for the 1-2-6.
40. Ashley required.
Again,
25.
he was right to go for it, being very respectful, knowing that Gulliver was in touch.
Game shot on a second leg. Ashley Coleman.
Making light work so far. The 10-time world champ.
Third leg. It's Ashley to throw first.
It's a good performance.
Game on.
And there is some credit to be given when a player
40.
manages to produce a high level when their opponent isn't.
We'll
change that to past tense now, when their opponent wasn't, because Trina Gulliver now is, with the
60.
first maximum of the night.
$60.
She dyed Ashley
42.
Coleman's hair blonde. He looked very similar to the guy out of the Lizard Lick Towing from America that I saw go around repossessing vehicles.
40.
Been racking my brains all evening about where I've seen a similar hairstyle to that.
I'll have to take your word for that, Scott. I'm afraid that pleasure has been denied me.
60.
Yeah, good show. They rock on up, repossess vehicles. Obviously, there's a little bit of rough and tumble on every time they go to repossess a vehicle. And yeah.
Wherever you get your kicks.
Look right. Yeah, Ashley Coleman would look right at home with those bunch of dudes.
39.
He certainly looks right at home here. It's one of those throws, isn't it? Just looks no effort at all. I often think that players who can do that, where it doesn't feel like hard work, will get a long and happy career if they're not putting themselves through it.
97.
Absolutely, and I think he's been impressive in his time, the short time he's been here at the Super Series, where when he first rock up, everybody else thinking, oh, who's this guy, you know? And
Trini require 85.
rather than more about things like that, it's this is what I do, this is how I do it, and I am not changing for anybody. And I like that about him.
Bullseye for Trina. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Well, she's had a 180 in this game. She's now bedded the bullseye for an 85 finish to get herself into the game.
Game on.
You never lose it. There's an old saying about form and class, and Trina Gulliver has got class in enormous quantities.
81.
Yeah. A golden shot from the Golden Girl. Classy bullseye. And that just shows why the leg earlier, Coleman went for that 1-2-6.
$41.
Unlucky with that dart, just sandwiched between the two and deflected.
134. $45. 105.
Yeah, good use of the bullseye there from Coleman.
$59. Ashley require 167.
Yeah, good use of Trina to win the last leg on that bull, but Coleman using it to get a
99.
finish and looks like winning this leg.
$60. Ashley require 68.
Yeah, this is a big number there, but If you're going to miss it, do it when your opponent's on 215, I say.
Yeah. Coleman comes back.
65. Ashley require 40. Game shot on a 4 flag.
Hits
Ashley
back.
Coleman.
One away then from his first win of Thursday night.
5th flag. It's Ashley to throw
A
first.
second place finish in
Game on.
Group A for Ashley Coleman. He was still a fair distance behind the
81.
group winner Tommy Morris, so I'm sure you must be pretty proud of Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's nobody knew where Dorset was until I came
60.
onto the scene a few years ago, and it's lovely that people like Tommy are now coming through. We've got another one, Ricky King. We've got another one, Robbie Martin, and
140.
there's a few that are starting to perform. We had young Owen Bowden here a couple of weeks back, but I was ill when after one day, he's been on holiday
60.
the week before and definitely brought some sort of bug back with him. But it's nice to see, for me particularly, to see the Dorset players
120.
expanding themselves and performing elsewhere. You know, Tommy played for England last year and Ricky King played for England alongside me this year. And not forgetting our beef. Super Sam and the lady, she was here with the ADC as well. She's played in this
85.
room. So yeah, Dorset,
Ashley require 160.
absolutely trying to take over the world for one of the smallest counties in the country.
Yeah, the gun will be in action on finals night, 7:30. Do join us here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. We'll talk about that as tonight and tomorrow develop when we know the other 5 players
100.
in the field.
Ashley
Coleman will stake his claim, and a win here will help him do just that. A wild one,
62.
and not quite corrected, not quite won yet.
106.
Tried to hunt down the treble 18. It might have been an
42.
argument to stay on the 20s with a good
Ashley
marker.
require 24. Trini require 64.
Should be looking to get at least one dart at this. Lovely marker.
Game shot on a 5th
Used
flag. Trina Gulliver.
beautifully, and it just seems every time Ash Coleman makes a slight mistake,
6th flag. It's Trina to throw
Gulliver's
first.
close enough to jump
Game
all
on.
over it, and her double stats are 2 from 2.
82.
Yeah, and he's missed 5 doubles for the match.
182.
Something tells me he may get a few more.
It's what he does.
60. 100. $87. $91.
Yeah, nice pick up there from Coleman.
$55. Ashley require 130.
This for the win, if he fancies it. He did fancy it. He
105.
always fancies it, but he couldn't find it.
$100.
Gulliver's taken all the
Ashley
opportunities
required
that she's been
25.
offered. You fancy Coleman finishing this off now,
Game shot.
which
and
he
the match,
duly
Ashley
does. It's a
Coleman.
4-2 victory for Ashley Coleman. And like I say, Gulliver, when she gets her opportunities, she does take those doubles. 2 from 2 from her, but it's Coleman goes out a 4-2 winner. 4 from 14 from him. He won't worry about that. It's 2 points on the league table, which was what he was after. We'll head into a short break and we will return with a big match. Aidan Kirk against Scott Taylor.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. The match starts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Game shot out the match. Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out, that's what he is, Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie Face is through. He gets
And he is absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Well, welcome back to what has been a breathless evening so far here at the Modus Super Series. Let's take a look at what we've seen so far, and myself and Scott Mitchell will talk about the key moments, and the standout one has to be that game 4 between Andy Davidson and Scott Taylor.
Yeah, it was super stuff. It was throwing the kitchen sink at each other, wasn't it? And it just didn't seem to stop. And, you know, poor old Scott Taylor, he's had a couple of hundred averages tonight. He's run an average of 103 and only got one game to show for it. It's just remarkable, really.
Yeah, we're just seeing some of the highlights. I mean, the game started with a 160 checkout from Davidson, casually lobbed in, but it was a sign of things to come in that match, wasn't it? Which he won with an absolutely top-class performance, one of the highest standards we see from any player here at the Super Series, let alone an ADC qualifier who's rocked up for the first time, averaging 110.
Absolutely, and he didn't do it to somebody that was rolling over and having their bellies tickled. You know what I mean? He was facing that bulldog spirit, wasn't he, of Scott Taylor? And yeah, big win for him. Maybe, you know, is he another one that we're going to see down the line? Maybe getting a tour card someday.
Yeah, they've got a winner piece, as has Ashley Coleman, but it's 2 wins from 2 for Aidan Kirk. He's the man that's top of the table. What have you made of him so far tonight?
Yeah, I think he's just been doing enough. He's been going along and dominating the game when he needs to dominate the game, and yeah, he's finishing at the right time, doing the right things at the right time. So, yeah, we'll be pleased with his night's work so far, but it's far from done. But we know that the night can get away from you here where there's only 10 games on the evening, 4 games to play. You've got to be careful, and he's doing it right. He's won his first 2, and there's a little piece there where he could throw with a bit more freedom now that he's got 2 wins under his belt.
Yeah, and Ashley Coleman getting that win against Trina Gulliver before the break. Look, Coleman, we've seen this week, is capable of getting through this group. As for Trina, can you see a win coming for her tonight or even over the last 2 nights? Because she has had her moments, hasn't she?
She has. We just spoke about it in commentary there. You know, when she gets her chances, she does take them. She's got to try and just up the scoring a little bit. There's a few little strays into the 1s and 5s now and again, and if she can eradicate those and keep the players under pressure, there's no reason why she can't win games here, but she's going to have to tighten that up, and she's got a couple of formidable opponents coming up. It doesn't get easier for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good stuff. The next match is a big one as well. But we're going to come away from that for a moment and talk about what's happening next week, Scott, because we've had some fantastic weeks here. Last series, actually, Scott Taylor played in week 12 and went on to win the series. This is week 12 for this series, and there are some quite interesting names on there.
Yeah, there's one or two there that I absolutely recognise. It, you know, Joe Mernon and Boris Koltsov and Ron Mullenkamp, well, they've all had tour cars. They're no slouches. And then again, sort of like Scott Baker, Chris Hurds. It's, yeah, Cam Crabtree, my old mate, Keelan Kay is back, and Andy Bolton. Well, we know what Andy Bolton does at this place. He just keeps doing enough in every game. He doesn't worry about the average. He just gets his head down and wins matches. So, yeah, what a week 12. And as you say, Scott Taylor winning week 12 last time and then going into Champions Week and winning it. Is that going to be an advantage? Maybe these guys are thinking the same. Being in week 12, it's their big chance to then continue on and into the Champions Week. And it's just, yeah, what a group of players.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to pick a winner in that week. I'm not going to ask you to do that, but I am going to ask you to pick a winner in this next game because it's a big one, isn't it? Aidan Kirk, who's top of the table, 2 wins from 2, taking on Scott Taylor, who's running at that 103 average for the night.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, Scott's not really done anything wrong tonight, and you know, if he can stay up around that 100 average, he's really going to ask questions of Aidan. But yeah, I think both will know each other. They were actually practicing together tonight. When I came in, wandered down to the players' room to say hi to everybody and catch up with people that I haven't seen for a while. And yeah, those two were playing a game on a board on their own, and they know each other's game inside out. So this really will be an interesting one, and I think Scott Taylor needs to win it.
Yeah, we'll show you why it's such an important game, because the league table looks like this. Aidan Kirk top, Taylor in second, although on the same points as both Ashley Coleman and Andy Davidson. Look, despite how well he's playing, Scott Taylor, if he loses this match, he starts to look over his shoulder a bit, doesn't he, and worry that he might not actually make it through.
Absolutely, and we know at this stage of the game, you know, the legs difference is worth a point in these shorter groups. So, and look at that, the legs difference is next to out between 3, and somebody's going to miss out there, and you're going to have to stay tuned to find out, as we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to this. The action about to get back underway with Kirk against Taylor, both players fighting for a place at finals night, and you could be there too.
Every Saturday, we open our doors for our weekly finals night.
For a unique and intimate darts experience.
Meet the Dart Stars and even the team off the telly.
Here at our purpose-built venue in Portsmouth.
Every single Saturday evening.
Tickets can be booked via this QR code.
Or at www.dartshop.tv for a very small booking fee.
Follow us at MSS Darts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
For all the latest ticketing news.
All you need to do, log on, book, turn up, and the action gets underway from 7:30 p.m.
So what are you waiting for?
Get your tickets to the darts.
We look forward to welcoming you to the Modus Super Series very soon.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? You could be here on Saturday or any Saturday at the Super Series. All of the weekly final tickets available at dartshop.tv. Also, a limited amount of Champions Night tickets as well. That's only a couple of weeks away now. And the Women's Week final. Of course, we mentioned the upcoming Women's Week earlier on. So all those tickets are available, but right now you've got a front row seat for what could be another
180.
incredible encounter, the like of which we saw when Andy Davidson met Scott Taylor, and Aidan Kirk starts for the maximum.
140.
Scott Taylor almost follows.
I think it's quite an important factor here that Aidan Kirk has the darts.
57. 95.
With Group B, with only 4 games, the players do get 2 games with the darts and 2 games against the darts.
81.
So you feel in a tight game like this, Captain Kirk has to make the darts
99.
work for him.
He's having a good chip away at Scott Taylor in this opening leg. And the reigning champ may have to take out the big finish, which he won't.
100. Aidan, you require 85.
Could go double-double. One goes conventional.
45.
And that slip could be costly.
67.
It could, so 67 coming in for Taylor. Treble 9 is usually his preferred route
Game shot on a
to
first
get to
leg,
there,
Scott
and that's
Taylor.
why.
Every time he goes for tops, he seems to hit it without needing a second or third
Game
dart.
on.
I do like that treble 9 route.
60. 60.
I think now having to break a throw, Taylor had a little deep breath and a breathe out because he only scored 60 in his first visit, and Kirk replied with 60, and you could see that he was happy with that.
81.
Kirk now applies pressure by just picking up a treble 18 with his last dart.
96. 60. 100.
Not quite the double speed that the match against Davidson was played in.
44.
I mean, Kirk's not slow, but he is slightly more methodical than Davidson, and I think that Scott Taylor's more matching Kirk's pace here than playing as fast as he did in that
100.
match.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. From what we're seeing,
60. Scott, you
both
require
know
85.
how important this match could be.
$61.
Back on 196. We'll want a double treble visit here to try and
Scott, you require
set the pressure.
24.
But well thought, leaves himself a 2-darter, but it's Taylor now for a 2-0.
Game shot on a second leg, Scott Taylor.
He can hit at the top, he can hit at the bottom.
He seemed disappointed that he hit it. I mean, it's craziness.
Third leg, it's
Doesn't matter what double you hit, doesn't matter what number dart you hit it. You've just got to hit it, and that's exactly what he's done. So
122.
this is the all-important leg for Kirk. He's 2-0 down, and Aidan really needs this
70.
one, or it's Taylor then throwing for the match at 3-0. So pressure on Kirk, but you wouldn't think it.
108.
180 on a pinhead.
His second of the tussle. Taylor's first.
108.
It was the little flutter of the eyebrows from Taylor while he had 2 in there and he hadn't even put his hand up to throw the third.
59.
As good as a blind 180, that. Giving it the old eyebrows and then bang, in she goes.
Yeah, the next level blind 180 for me is someone actually closing their eyes and throwing the dart. But I get the feeling that if Scott Taylor did that right now, he would hit what he was going for. Back-to-back maximums.
Oh, indeed.
100.
Kirk, he leaves.
Scott, you require 71.
Tops after 12 and Taylor.
It's on a
Oh,
third
it's on a
leg.
string
Scott
that tops with him, isn't it?
Every now and again, it goes around, doesn't it, that question. If you had a dart player throwing at any double to save your life, who would you choose? And right now, I'm having Scott Taylor on tops.
Yeah, totally agree. And Aidan Kirk, you have to say 12 darts, leave himself tops. How often you leave tops after 12 and don't get back? That's a rare one.
120.
That's a rare one as well. I think that was the hat stand, wasn't it? The 120 with a dart between the 2 barrels that were already in the board.
$100.
But it was sharp thinking there from Scott Taylor to use the 17 segment rather than the 19s in the previous visit. Knowing a 140 would leave him 170 when he came
59.
back.
Scott, you require 170.
Some of the Dutch do very well. Count from that way out. 310 and down.
126.
They even think about leaving the 310. Exactly like Taylor did.
134. Scott, you require 44.
12 double 16 then, Scott. So obviously 4 tops.
Game shot and
And Scott Taylor is going loco at the live lounge. A 4-0 win over Aidan Kirk. And that is the impressive performance that we've come to expect from our reigning and defending champion. It's actually rubbish compared to everything else he's produced tonight. 95.43. That's about 8 points less than his running average before that game. But it is a match. He wins 2-0 against the man who hadn't lost the game. And that sees Taylor replace Kirk at the top of the table. Coming next, well, blink and you'll miss it. Andy Davidson, Ashley Coleman, after the break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we have a speedy showdown ready to take place, and we've had some speedy showdowns already tonight, not least the last one, 4-0, Scott Taylor beating Aidan Kirk, the first defeat of the night for Kirk, and it was a big one, a big win for Taylor. That game completed in just over 7 minutes. Earlier tonight, when Andy Davidson played Scott Taylor, it took just over 8 minutes to play 6 legs of darts. And earlier this week, well, it was around 6 minutes for this duo to play 4. And if Andy Davidson carries on like this, then we could be talking about a record time the way these two carry on.
131.
Yeah, totally agreeing. Mighty impressive performance to have to follow Andy Davidson against Scott Taylor, that 110 average.
55. 77. 96. Andy, you require 104.
Tops.
64.
Scintillating start from the Scot.
Yeah, and the pace of the game is everything that we expected.
93. Andy, you require 40. Game shot on the first leg, Andy Davidson.
Well, the first leg goes the way of the man throwing first.
Game on.
And he throws them at such a pace. There's a lot of arm speed in the Davidson throw. And
36.
With those small pear-shaped flights, it's a very direct throw.
81.
It was 4-0 to Andy Davidson in that record match they had
121
in Group A, the fastest game we've seen in 2024 at the Super Series.
Flight drop there for Coleman could slow this one up, but Davidson has other ideas.
131.
Well, at the moment, Andy Davidson's threatening to outdo himself here. Scott mentioned his 110 average in the victory
60.
against Taylor. He's in a similar vicinity in this one.
I think his throw also goes down as not totally conventional dart throw, but more than effective.
56. Ashley require 90.
Yeah, it's an interesting throw. I'd actually like to slow it down to get a better look at it.
60. Andy require 124.
I think he actually throws a little bit like Phil Taylor on ×20 speed.
99. Ashley require 30.
On that occasion, the bullseye was beyond him, and Coleman levels up.
Ashley Coleman. Third leg, it's Andy to throw first.
It's just the pace. I mean, it's just a pair of speed merchants here.
96.
I say I'm not built for speed, but Ashley Coleman's making me think twice about
100.
that. I think I should put a little bit more effort in.
60.
We have seen it with Richard Rowland sped up slightly, hasn't he, of late? Players deciding
41.
to change their pace of play because they think it might result in a better outcome. We've seen it go the other way for certain players. Dimitri van den Berg in that UK Open win, slowing everything down pretty much to a standstill at times.
100.
Yeah, Rowlands was taking on a bit of advice from
140.
Phil the Power Taylor when appearing in Blackpool. And Taylor was on commentary and said he might
41.
find his scoring boots a little easier if he was a little quicker and a little bit more rhythmic. And
108.
Taylor was never a rapid player himself, was he? It's interesting that he would pass on that type of advice.
Andy requires 16.
He wasn't rapid, but he wasn't super slow either, was he? He was right in between.
I third leg, Andy Davidson.
It was his concentration that he was just so good at, and belief.
Fourth leg, it's Ashley to throw first.
I remember the famous Shane Burgess quote. Oh yeah, Mr. Taylor gives you chances. 164,
85,
161, 148, and you've got to hit them.
The lie of the dart is very similar to that of the power
140.
of Andy Davidson. He likes the understacker, as the late great Sid Waddell coined it.
60.
Yeah, very much so. And you see sometimes if he's got one sort of half an inch in old money above the treble 20, he has to move off to the 18s. And the young man doesn't stay there and try to force the issue either. He goes
40.
for the... He goes for the sort of open target.
On it and tidy for Andy Davidson, but Ashley Coleman unable to convert one treble visits into two.
60. Andy, you require 120.
May need a little bit of super glue in the back of that stem.
81. 100.
That's like stayed in there
40.
for a change.
On a fourth flag, Andy Davidson.
Well, Davidson's averaging in three figures again.
Fifth leg, it's Andy
Will be
to
back to
throw
back
first.
ton plus averages if he goes out in 15 or fewer in this leg.
180. 140.
As the evening goes on, Davidson's confidence is growing.
140.
Congratulations, incidentally, to Luke Humphries winning
96.
the Premier League night in Leeds. Beating Michael Van Goen in the final and doing
99.
it in front of his... It's kind of a home from home for Humphries, who of course is a big Leeds United fan.
Yeah, he played in kind of a new shirt that looked
Andy
like a Leeds
82.
United shirt from the day.
And he walked out to I Predict a Riot. And Andy Davidson has run riot in this game. A 4-1 thumping of Ashley Coleman in little over 7 minutes. An average of 104.79, his second ton-topping average in as many matches. In fact, across his last two games, Andy Davidson is averaging nearly 108. He really has turned on the style and grown in confidence and stature on his first week on the Super Series stage. And he could be a threat comes finals night if he gets there. Currently occupying the top three with Scott Taylor and Aidan Kirk. And Taylor is back on the hockey next when he faces the Golden Girl, Trina Gulliver.
not throwing any darts away. He knows where every one of these is going. And here we go again.
Whoa!
Double 16, but he didn't miss for long. His average, 117.88.
Well, here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel, not just a live show, but the best blasts from the past, including Luke Littler's stunning average against Andy Barton's. Plenty of highlights from him, plenty of other highlights as well, with features from Ashley Coleman, Simon Whitlock, and a darts penalty shootout. And all you need to do to make sure that you can enjoy all of that action is click that subscribe button on the YouTube channel that you are watching now. There is plenty of great content away from the live Arrows action, but that's what we're focusing on right now, and it's Scott Taylor against Trina Gulliver, the man at the top of the table against the woman at the bottom of it, looking for her first win of the night. Scott Taylor looks to end his night by winning 3 from 4. Ironically, in the game that he lost, he averaged 104. How good was Andy Davidson in that match and the one since?
Yeah, absolutely. He's
100.
Really taken to this Super Series like a duck to water, and he led Group A 58. On Monday. He was a surprise leader, and maybe being so new, he was thinking, it must be like this every day, but as we know, 42. Tommy Morris came back at him and won Group A, but the signs were there. The signs were there early this week that Davidson had this
38
in his armoury, and tonight he's surely showing it. He's a new name to a lot of people, even to people like 100. Myself. But he won't be any more.
Well, Scott Taylor looking a little bit bemused when he
28.
Doesn't find what he's looking for.
$41.
Is there an element of the fact that he's playing the Trina who's bottom of the table, and like you say, he's been doing 100 averages for fun this evening. We've had 400 averages this evening, and 2 of them being Scott and 2 of them being Andy Davidson.
Yeah, well, every match counts the 60. Same, doesn't it? Sometimes players can be distracted by focusing just on the games against their rivals. Taylor on tops has been pretty perfect.
92.
Little wince as he misses it for once.
$92. Scott, you require 20.
Just next door from Gulliver, but
game shot on the first leg. Scott Taylor.
For Scott Taylor, it's handy if you're good at double 10, and just in case you miss double top.
Second leg, it's Trina to throw first.
A rarity.
Game on.
Taylor misses tops. A bit like our co-commentator does her back in the day when 100. He left 32. You knew it was gone in that period where he picked up those World Masters titles and the Lakeside titles, and then went on to win the Premier League. It was looked like 16s and 8s were on an absolute 60. String, and he knew it. Would do all sorts of things to get over there. But if you hit it, that's the right way to do it. And Taylor very similar.
140.
With that double top, you saw him 67 earlier, going for 27 for the tops.
He is the type of player, isn't he, Scott Taylor, who you could see having a little golden spell if he got himself back on the tour and played like this. He could win a few matches. He may
54.
Even win a title or 2.
Yeah, I totally agree, but Q School is so hard these days. So hard.
100.
He wants to lose a Pro Tour final, lost out to Michael Van Gerwen. No shame in that.
127. Trina, you require 101.
think there was a change of mind there from Trina Gulliver.
45. Scott, you require 40.
Initially thinking of 19s and then adjusted after the step back to go for 15s.
Scott Taylor.
In the end, Taylor hits tops. Sick of saying it.
Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on. $180.
First of this match for Taylor, but his 5th of the evening.
55.
Is it time?
180.
Is it time for the 9? He's done just about everything else on the Super Series stage. But now Scott Taylor
59.
is 3 darts away from perfection.
Fluffed his lines there. I was getting all excited. Murph was getting all excited. And if that's fluffing your lines, 125, poor commentary. Poor commentary there from me. Leaves himself 16 for a 10 darter. I know a commentator that's done a 10 darter up there, don't I?
Scott, you require 16.
1 or 2. He had a little glance up towards the comms box. I think he knew what kind of thing you'd be saying, Scott.
Game shot on the third leg. Scott Taylor.
What commentators normally say in that moment is make sure you still win the leg, and he's done that. Nice moment between himself and Trina Gulliver.
Leg. It's Trina to throw first.
Who he shows no mercy to.
I think she just looked at him and went, you know, cheers for that.
55.
His lowest average of the night, 95.43 in a 4-0 win over Aidan Kirk. Scott Taylor has come to play.
59.
Those that can remember the Wurzel Gummidge series from back in the day, one would say he's got his serious head on tonight.
81.
Rather than his silly head.
But he's looking to get himself back to Champions Week, of course, and do what Luke Littler did, and that's defend the title.
Yeah, not a bad person to shadow an achievement, is it really? With the way that he's brought darts to the fore.
41.
In the last 4 or 5 months.
104.
Potential was seen here first in the live lounge at the Super Series, as you say, with back-to-back series wins.
100. Scott, you require
well, this would be the perfect
170.
way to end his evening. Doesn't happen.
59. Trina, you require 106.
Treble 17. Well, Luke Littler went
42.
bull 11 bull on this.
Scott, you require 100.
I don't think Taylor will be doing the same. Because he leaves tops. He loves tops.
91.
On this occasion,
Trina,
he
require
cannot
64.
find it. Double 16.
Game shot on a 4 flag.
Trina Gulliver refuses to be beaten heavily tonight. 4-2.
Fifth
She
flag.
went down
It's
to
Scott
Aidan
throw
Kirk. She
first.
also got a
Game
couple
on.
of legs against Ashley Coleman. She's now taken one off Scott Taylor.
135.
I'd say earlier, you give her opportunities and she will take them. You don't become a 10-time world champion without having that
100.
trait about your game, and something you can practice and try to get, but it's having the right mental state in that moment.
41. $43. 59. 134.
And after that loss of the leg, Taylor working his way towards the victory. It would be a third win from
60.
his 4 fixtures tonight.
89.
Yeah, 89. Surely he goes to the ball. No.
49.
Does leave the tops, though.
Yeah, just finds a way to leave it, doesn't he? That's all he wants.
100. Scott, you require 40.
I said the 170 would be the perfect way to end his
Big
night,
shot
but in
and the
truth,
match,
double
Scott
top is a
Taylor.
perfect way to end his night because he has been superb on that target. He's been superb overall. It's another 95 average, a 4-1 win for Scott Taylor against Trina Gulliver. Couldn't get the 9-dart finish in the game after back-to-back 180s earlier in the match, but he does make it 3 wins out of 4 and puts himself in very good shape for another tilt at finals night and a potential return to Champions Week. He will return tomorrow in Group B, but the other 4 players in the field continue to battle it out tonight. Ashley Coleman in action against Aidan Kirk after this short break. So a couple of games left to go on the opening night of Group B, Week 11 of Series 7 Champions Week, drawing closer and closer. And this is an important game. Ashley Coleman could go level on points with Aidan Kirk and Andy Davidson at the end of this match, but if he loses a game, he could find himself 4 points adrift of the pair of them come the end of the evening.
First leg, it's Ashley to throw first.
This is massive for the Prince of Darkness, who, just looking at the fixtures, Davidson plays Gulliver in the last game, you'd expect him to win. I think this is must win for Ashley.
78.
Otherwise, it's a long way back tomorrow.
Yeah, you start to run out of games in Group B.
140.
You have a little more. I know there's only 2 from 6, but it always feels a little more luxury in Group C for me.
96.
I played Group B, and and I will be playing it again, I'm sure. But it always
57.
This evening game sort of flies by, and you really can't lose 2 on the bounce. You've got to win 2 on your first
100.
night, really, to be in the mix.
I'll keep your comments coming in the chat on
58.
YouTube, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Elaine saying that she thinks it'll be Scott, Aidan and Andy.
57.
Does look like the most likely outcome, but if Coleman can conquer Kirk here, then that may change things.
96. Ashley require 170.
Has Coleman changed his type of stem here to avoid
42.
the flight from
Aidan, you require 150.
ejecting itself? It does look like he's changed stem to me.
84. Ashley require 128. $88. Aidan, you require 66.
Double 18.
48. Ashley, you require 40. Game shot on the first leg. Ashley Coleman.
Well, Coleman claims the opening leg. Big match, particularly for him.
Second leg. It's Aidan to throw first.
Gets
Game
off to
on.
a good start.
96.
Scott Rowe in the chat says, if Coleman loses, he thinks he's probably out. Wouldn't be out. You're never really out after one night in this group, but it would be a long way back. 4 points to pick up in just 4 games.
Yeah, you're not out, but the damage is done, isn't it? And
48.
the mental damage is done. It means you've got to really go for it the next night off the bat.
134.
And start having to win more than you lose.
81. Aidan, you require 94.
There's no room for error.
Game shot on a
No
second
errors
leg.
here
Aidan Kirk.
from Aidan Kirk.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Third
superb.
leg. It's Ashley to throw
11
first.
dart leg from Kirk.
Game on.
Very tidy.
55. $100.
Joel in the chat just confirming your point.
85.
That Coleman's changed from those plastic stems to some metal ones with replaceable tops.
120.
You see them? He's moved into those where you put the flight through. He's taken
79.
off the way you just put the flight in the end, like a conventional dart, and you slip the flight
58.
through, don't you? A
Yeah,
little gap.
You squash it and slide it through the slit sticks, they're called.
Like a needle.
77.
I remember Taylor used to use something like that back in the day with a pink bit on them.
43. $44.
You can see when you look at the flight close up that the stem runs through the edge of the flight.
140. Ashley require 161.
Steady with the last one from Kirk there, nice and high and Odds on for a breaker throw here now.
Aiden, you require 40. Game shot on the third leg, Aiden Kirk.
So, 2-1 to Kirk, and now Coleman is starting to
Fourth leg, it's
sink
Aiden to
in the
throw
quicksand.
First. Game on. $81. $100.
No, he's been broken. Coleman has
59.
an uphill task here.
$58.
Well, whoever does get through, it's going to be a fantastic finals night. Don't forget, you can get tickets to be here on a Super Series Saturday.
96.
Available from dartshop.tv, and all for a couple of quid as well. If you want to come along, just scan that QR code. It'll take you to the ticket page, and you can join the Darty party in Pompey.
87.
Absolutely. Come and create a great darting atmosphere for the players to play in. I was here a couple of weeks ago and finals
43.
night, and wow, it's lovely to play up there in front of those people. They just come in and love their darts. It is a
58.
big lift for the players after playing in an empty room all week to come in and have a finals night. I think that's one of the biggest things that makes it different for the players. Having an audience in, and when you feel you're a good player, you just want to play in front of people.
Well, the World Snooker Championships
100.
just come to an end, and I think it's got a similar feeling that the single table setup, hasn't it? You've worked all week without an audience, and then that's your reward.
59.
On Saturday you get to play in front of a crowd.
You require 20.
Yeah, very much so.
Game shot on the
10
fourth
coming
flag,
in for
Aiden
Aiden Kirk, and
Ashley Coleman just had a little look at his watch there. How quickly
Fifth
can I
leg,
turn
it's
this
Ashley
around?
to throw first. Game on. 90.
he wasn't thinking, is this past my bedtime yet?
Well, it might be lights out for the Prince of Darkness if he loses this match.
99.
Scott Taylor, Aiden Kirk would both have 6 points, and Andy Davidson would be likely to move to 6 as well.
140.
That would leave Coleman 4 points adrift with just 8 to play for.
90.
Would probably have to win
98.
at least 3, if not all 4 of his games tomorrow.
100.
Emmett on the chat asking where in the UK is this held
83.
again? Fully accept if I'm told to Google it, he says. Google it, Emmett. No, it's held in Portsmouth.
94. Ashley, you require 90. $40. Aiden, you require 118.
There we go, then top for Aiden Kirk, who gets a very, very good win. 4-1 against Ashley Coleman. A great Super Series debut for Aiden Kirk, winning 3 of his 4 matches and piling the pressure on Coleman, who's going to have a similar campaign himself tomorrow if he's going to get himself into finals night. Kirk is looking in a good position to get there himself. 93.26 the average. The finishing was excellent, 4 out of 6 for him. A 118 checkout to win the match, a match he wins 4-1. And the last match is coming up next. Trina Gulliver will face Andy Davidson. Last match of the night then. Trina Gulliver, the Golden Girl, looking to have a glossy finish to her evening, which has not yet availed any victories. Andy Davidson has had a fantastic night so far. 2 wins from his 3 matches, and both of those with 3-figure averages. One of them 110 against the table topper and reigning champion Scott Taylor.
First leg, it's Trina to throw first. Game on.
They often say that the true test of a top darts player is not doing it, but doing it time after time. Well, he's done that now.
59.
Can Davidson continue this incredible standard into his final match of the evening?
26. $121. $180.
Davidson there with 180, number 7 of his evening.
100. $93. $100.
Well, despite the 180,
41.
Trina Gulliver is first to a finish.
121. $57. Andy require 161.
So not to be this time for Davidson.
45. Trini require 64.
16s and 8s for Gulliver. Used that marker to effect
48.
earlier in the evening for one of the legs she picked up.
100. Trini requires 16. Game shot on the first leg, Trina Gulliver.
I don't like to repeat myself, but if you give the girl a go, she will not turn the opportunity down.
Game on.
Well, that means that she's won legs in every match that she's played tonight. She just hasn't won a match yet tonight.
137. $60. $80.
Greatest ladies player in many people's eyes, no doubt about it, if you use the World Championship wins as a benchmark. 10 times world champion and twice
99.
runner-up as well. In fact, she reached the final of every single world championship since its inception in 2001 right through to 2011.
26.
And after winning 9, came back in 2016 and
26.
had an attempt for good measure when she beat Dieter Hedman in the final.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to buy one of Trina's, I think a
59.
9th world title shirt I have at home. A frame on my wall. Trina, one of my idols.
57.
Helped me very much along the way in my early days.
Well, it is a remarkable record. 10 world titles, 6 world masters, a world trophy, a Dutch Open champion 5 times.
And you require 102.
He even won the Las Vegas Desert Classic a couple of times as well in the PDC
62.
women's game.
$60. And you require 40. Game shot on a second leg, Andy Davidson.
Davidson levels up in this one.
Third leg, it's Trina to throw first. Game on. $45. $140.
It looks strange when you try to analyse Davidson's throw, but he doesn't care. It's so accurate with what he does.
60.
That treble 20 must look the size of a barn door for him tonight.
140.
I genuinely think if you slowed that right down, that the action would not look dissimilar to Phil Taylor's throw. It's just 10 times quicker. Just look at the actual
60.
mechanics of the throw, the reference points in front of his face, even down to a little pursing of the lip as he throws the dart. There are
140.
a fair few similarities apart from the speed.
He does something strange with his fingers on the dart before he releases as well. He holds it in a certain way to get the aim, and then I don't know whether it's a twist or a turn
23.
in his fingers to release the dart.
49.
Whatever it is, it's mighty effective, and a lot of us would like to be doing what he's doing right now and playing the way that he's playing.
30. Andy require 32. Game shot on a third leg, Andy Davidson.
And he's playing very well. That's a 13 dart breaker throw.
Fourth leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on. 100.
Mention how much trouble Ashley Coleman's in tomorrow. Well, it's even worse for Trina Gulliver if she doesn't turn this
60.
around. She'll be 6 points adrift of 3 players and only 8 to play for. Obviously, at least a couple of them are about to add to that tally. So the only way that Trina Gulliver is going to qualify for finals night is win all of her matches and then still hope
59.
for favours elsewhere. It is quite rare for a player to be that far out of the picture in a Group B
55.
campaign after the first night.
Yeah, it is. I have to say, this isn't what you would call a normal Group B
54.
group. Some of the stuff that's been thrown tonight.
I did see one comment on the YouTube chat saying
140.
that you got 4 players in this group that have got the potential to be weekly champions.
85.
Yeah, without doubt. I
Andy
totally agree
requires
with that
75.
statement.
Double 3.
69.
It's going to be about who does what at the right moments. Timing is going to be critical and also essential on Saturday night.
44.
For whoever
Andy
the 6
requires
players are.
6. Game shot on a fourth flag, Andy Davidson. Fifth flag, it's Trina to throw first. Game on.
How impressed have you been with what you've seen from Davidson?
Yeah, very. Obviously, we watched from home. I was having a little eye
41.
on Group A this week when you know you're involved with the commentary at the end of the week. And yeah,
140.
he's just grown into the week, hasn't he? And having a restart on 0 seems to have done him the world of good. You do feel like you get a second crack at it.
60.
After Group A, it really is. You, particularly for debutants, they learn so much in that first couple of days. And
85.
I think he probably would have surprised himself a little being top of the group on Monday in Group A overnight.
59.
Yeah, he'll be very pleased, kicking on from that Group A campaign and putting himself in a very, very good position to make it through to finals night on debut.
100.
Yeah, we did mention that 4 players from this group could end up being champion, but of course only 3 can go through. So someone will miss out at the first hurdle. If you want to find out who that is, you're going to have to come and join us tomorrow evening.
100.
Yeah, double dose of darts, 1 p.m. back for Group C, and then 10 p.m. again for the conclusion of this group. This night may conclude here.
Game shot,
and it does. Andy Davidson with a 4-1 win over Trina Gulliver, who failed to get a victory tonight. She did get legs in all of her matches. Davidson won 3 of his 4 and joined Scott Taylor and Aidan Kirk on 6 points. And myself and Scott Mitchell will dissect all tonight's action after this short break. Well, that was all wrapped up pretty quickly this evening. Really fast matches, high standard, quick players. Been a good night, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think everybody's contributed as well throughout the group. You know, Trina's picked up legs all the way through, but yeah, Andy Davidson, sensational this evening.
Yeah, Aidan Kirk winning 3 of his games, as did Andy Davidson and Scott Taylor. Look, we will go through each of those players in a moment, but I want to start with Ashley Coleman and Trina Gulliver, because is this group done? Are they pretty much out already?
I think first couple of games we're going to say, I think probably Trina is. You know, she's going to have to do 4 out of 4. You get through with 4 wins, possibly. So she needs to produce some fireworks tomorrow night, but this is a really tough group for her, and I think she's acquitted herself really well. So she shouldn't be disappointed with her night's work at all. She's been up against 4 people who, rightly said on the chat, could easily win on Saturday, but one of them's got to go as well. There's only going to be 3 going through, so yeah, we're going to have to stay tuned and see who that is tomorrow night.
Well, let's talk about the 3 players that have played well. 3 wins for Kirk, Davidson and Taylor. Which one of them has impressed you the most?
Davidson's impressed me the most. Obviously, I got a little look at him at the start of the week, but tonight he's reeled off 4 brilliant games, and after that first game, he was so poor at his finishing, so poor. He's made up for that, but he gives himself so many opportunities with his scoring. His power scoring is something to behold, really, and he's going to do big averages if he starts going out first and second up.
As for Scott Taylor, he was very, very good, particularly on double top. He was almost perfect earlier as well, a couple of 180s, teeing up a potential 9-dart. That would have been nice for him, but is he showing the kind of form that can see him not only win the week, but maybe even go and retain his title?
No, absolutely. He's not worried about whether he tops the table tonight. He's shown the others that his game is still here and sound, and you've got to do something special to get him, and that's exactly what happened tonight. It took a special dame to beat him tonight, and I predict that's going to be the same tomorrow. He won't go anywhere. He will hang in there and know that yeah, it's a good night's work for him.
And a really good debut appearance for Aidan Kirk. What have you made of him tonight?
Yeah, very much so. I've known Aidan for a while now, and like you say, he's had a successful Challenge Tour on the way in, and that's a really good sign. Those Challenge Tours are tough. There's game after game, lots of big players in them, and he's brought the momentum of that into here sometimes. And because he's played for such a long time, he's not let this pace sort of daunt him. And he really wanted to be here. He said that in his interview, how much he's wanted to play here. And he hasn't melted under the pressure. And, yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in terms of the table, it means that 3 players are tied on 6 points, with Taylor, Davidson and Kirk all looking very comfortable in those provisional places. And I suppose with 6 ahead of him, it seems the Prince of Darkness, Ashley Coleman, will need to do the devil's work tomorrow.
Yeah, very much so. You feel he's got to reel off 4 tomorrow, and it's a tough task for him, and a little unfortunate for him, because this has been a really, really classy group, and he's just come out a couple of times at the wrong moments on the wrong side of it.
Is it that top 3 going through for you tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think the betting tomorrow is going to show that, but yeah, the way that it's looking tonight and the way that they've played tonight, it would probably take a major disaster for one of those to not make it through.
Well, thank you for tonight. The quickest you've been in and out of the Modus Super Series. But we'll be back very, very quickly indeed, because we've got another couple of sessions for you tomorrow, the first of which starts at 1 p.m. for the conclusion of Group C. So do join us again here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel.